Okay, so we in here. What's up, Sherry? How you feeling today?
I'm good. It's good. We're getting it started. We're getting it done. All that. So that's love. I would rather be with you than anywhere in the world on this Friday evening, getting this going. So
I hear that, and it's crazy because like you already know, we were talking about it earlier. Today's the anniversary of Big Pun's death, and I actually have a lot to say about that because I grew up in the Bronx, and some of my family members was from Soundview, and everyone, like growing up, like he was like the legend over there. You know what I mean? And this is
Mhm.
this is the truth. So like my aunties and my mother, or we'd be like, yeah, we used to see those guys all the time. They were doing their thing. That was always like what they would say. They're doing their thing over there. And I remember my uncle would like he'd have like a little pride in his eyes because he was Latino.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? He was
Mhm.
Latino, and back in the 90s, it was like there wasn't a lot of Latinos that were appreciated in hip hop. And this is me just being like 100% honest.
Of course.
Like Hispanics and Hispanics really had to fight for that. I want to say title for to be a rapper, or because it was, you know what I mean, like it wasn't really for us. And I think we were talking about this other day too, how a lot of white artists and everybody gets criticized at every race and stuff like that. So it's like Latinos and white people have to work harder for, you know what I mean, that recognition, and to be recognized as the greatest of all time. Like,
Mhm.
because if Eminem was just okay, he wouldn't be the GOAT. He wouldn't be
That's
who he
true.
is now.
Yeah.
And think about this, like Big Pun is Latino, and there hasn't been one since. There hasn't been like a mainstream, well, with the exception of Fat Joe. But Fat Joe, like I said, he kind of went dark for a few years, and then he came back and
Mhm.
resurfaced, and then now he's doing the show, and he's doing little things here and there. But I'm talking about like moving the whole genre and culture forward. So, like I said, man, like I got a lot of stuff to say because I was young too. I was 11 back in the early 2000s when he passed. So I didn't understand what that meant. You know what I mean? What it meant, where I didn't know what that look in my uncle's eyes were, and I didn't know what doing your thing meant. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's something else. And then when you see that, you see it's not dead through his son, because his son is heavy into hip hop right now. And he's good. You know what I mean? Like he's not trash. He's actually really
Mhm.
good. And we talked about this, I think, in episode 1 or 2. We were talking about him and his son, and how he made that
Oh,
track
right.
against his father. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I guess his father used to hit him and his mother, and he'd swing out. And I'm not advocating. I'm not saying people are perfect. I'm not saying that. We all got our demons, but I personally would have had messed it. Excuse me. I would have had messed with my father's legacy. I think so, but if that was part of the healing that he needed to, then it was real and it came from somewhere, and
Mhm.
it meant something. So if that's what his legacy was to move past his father, then okay, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be like, yo, don't do it. But I know there was a video of him smacking his wife with a Mac 10, running up the stairs and doing all that crazy shit. But like I said, man,
Lord.
like some people really do what they say in these songs, man. And in that era, it wasn't a phony, it wasn't a fake. They weren't making songs about the stuff that they wanted to do or what they seen other people do and adopt this person's name. No, like
Mhm.
they were really doing it. You know what I mean? Like I remember there's stories of Big Pun smacking somebody in the face with a bottle. I'm not gonna say who because I don't wanna put that name on that name. I definitely don't want to put that big name on
No,
my channel or
that's
anything
definitely
bad about
not.
it. But yeah, there's stories of him smacking niggas in the bottles, cutting niggas face open. But like I said, I don't promote violence or anything like that. I just want to let you know that when it comes to hip hop, like that era, man, that era actually did what they said, and I don't
Yeah, there's a lot of
appreciate.
real stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of real stuff. There was people that still was trying to, front and do what they, say they was doing stuff they wasn't really doing. But at the same time, not to compare apples to oranges, but it was not like it is now. Again, I'm referencing the people using money as a phone, which is my favorite thing to tag on to, by the way. It makes me crazy.
it's
But
funny.
with that being
It's funny
said,
that you say that though, because me and my brother were talking, and my brother got into
oh, the money brick is a phone, like those, like
yeah,
like those. Okay.
so the money phone thing. me and my brother think of it as such a joke so much that we said that when we do get rich, we're gonna do it, and we're not gonna do it because we respect it. We're gonna do it to show ignorance, to show the people that like this is what you want us to do, but we're not doing this. So we decided that we're gonna do something different. Anyway, to get back to the whole to the whole Big Pun thing though. So I was in New York City when they did his mural. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I think I've seen it actually. I believe I've seen it. I didn't realize it was in a very specific place.
Yeah. Actually, it's crazy because like I remember driving through the highway and just like seeing the mural like multiple places. Like it wasn't just one because you know somebody always gonna want to do it somewhere in their barrel. Mm-hmm. But I remember seeing it and just seeing a Puerto Rican flag, you know, flying through on the side of it, or just seeing his face as a beacon for the people. And I always thought, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like this is official, man. This is what it is. So, like I said, man, shout out to one of the greats, man. He definitely his music alone spoke for itself. And like I said, all the mainstream stuff was good. Don't get me wrong, you know, the Still Not a Player and all that stuff is good, man. But if you're not familiar with his Yeah Baby album, of his shit he did with Tony Sunshine or Cuban Link or anything like that, I highly suggest Hip Hop Homework that you guys stop by. As a matter of fact, when I make my playlist tonight,
that's a good idea.
I'm gonna do a little tribute to Big Pun.
I will actually listen to that myself because I honestly as we were talking about it before, that's when I first moved out to Phoenix, and I came from Northwest Indiana, you know, Chicago, and we used to go to ciphers and stuff in Chicago. So when I came out here, it was like, I thought it was the new frontier for hip hop. Like I thought it was dead. I mean, I've seen KRS-One here. I've seen Meth and Red at the Celebrity Theater out here, but I thought it was like dead. So on the radio station, they would only play Big Pun. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. I'm pretty sure they still play it to this day, which is one of the reasons I don't have a radio. I don't need to listen to one, but that's the only that's the main song that they would play. So I really didn't get too versed in a lot of his albums and the fact that he was an amazing lyricist and artist, you know, because that's when I come out here. So I'm anxious to actually look at that Hip Hop Homework playlist for, you know, as a tribute to Big Pun. And I think that would be an awesome piece of homework for me, honestly, to kind of restart again.
And don't forget, like I said, we talked about this earlier, yo. He really did songs with some of the greatest, like Naughty by Nature, KRS-One, the whole Locks. He put Remy Martin on. I don't know if you ever heard Miss Martin, but
of course
he went. You know what I mean? Like he put her on. Oh my God, the list goes on and on and on. Like I said, 19 solo songs, 2 albums, 1 post.
Wow.
And he accomplished a lot for his time, and it sucks because, you know, like his family struggled without him and shit. And I definitely don't think that he died in the prime of his life. But like I said, man, we are the choices we make, and I'm just thankful for him and hip hop in general. And that's really all I got to say about it, man. I wanted to do something today for him. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna do something on the playlist today. Probably do a little tribute. Off With His Head to me is like one of those songs that I pop in my ears and I'm like, yes, I'm in the mood. I got my stank face on.
Like we were talking about before, like what do you listen to that you get kind of in a groove, in a zone? That makes sense.
So
like for me, if we're going from, and I don't want to, you know, you don't point out a lady's age as it were, but if we're going from somebody that is of a little bit different of a decade, let's just say that. With all respect due to Pun, my artist and person that really influenced me, you know, was Tupac. And that's very mainstream and all of that now, but that was not the case as I was growing up. You know, Tupac, it was Digital Underground before it was even Tupac. And so as the personality and as the artist. So when I remember the day that he died, where I was. So if you're referencing like your experience with an artist that you have high regards and respect for, and then some, my similarity would be, you know, that with Tupac, honestly, because like he literally changed things. And if I was having a hard day or whatever, like he literally, I literally will tell people dead to their face, and I'm serious, Tupac raised me. I didn't have any other resource or outlet. It was literally Tupac and Billie Holiday. That was it, you know. and then The Quiet Storm, because God loves Orlando. Anyways, but you know, Big Pun, it's just I'm excited and interesting to delve back into that, and that's, you know, a crate that I really didn't get a chance to get into because during that time I, you know, relocated out here, and after hearing that song for God knows how many times, I'm just like, oh. But it's really good to see Big Pun, Fat Joe doing his thing now. Like, we just saw him on that show.
And I love that shit.
Video. That was dope. I have it on my phone, and
yep.
You know,
shout out to Fat Joe for real.
Yeah, he does his thing, and even on the IG, he does his thing. You know, I've seen him on there a couple of times. Oh, and I wanted to add to that, as far as if you don't mind me saying so, just in essence, Latina rappers and artists in hip hop, Cypress Hill. Also, you know, Funk Dubious, if I'm not mistaken, but again, not off topic per se, but just kind of giving a respect to.
You know, I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you did that because, you know, yeah. So, but you know, like I said, to me, you know, in 2000, I was 11. So, you know, I'm new to this. I'm new to that whole early 2000s, early 90s too. So I was born in '89, so I barely missed. Yeah. I barely got into the '80s. So, like, you know what? I feel like 30-year-olds right now are stuck in between two generations, where they identify with the 90s culture, but this new culture kind of catches our eye too, and we're able to pick and choose what we want to listen to. But to go back to the point before I forget, I wanted to talk about artists who passed and what happens to their music. So Big Pun is considered one of the greatest. So days like today, on his anniversary or his birthday, he's immortalized, and his music will always be there. And I think that's amazing because the younger people and everybody else will be able to hear it. You know, they'll be able to get a taste of that. Well, maybe they weren't exposed to throughout the whole year or years before. So I think that's an amazing thing. Another thing I wanted to say. Sorry to cut you off, Mama.
I was agreeing with you.
Sorry, another thing I wanted to touch up real fast was I remember when XXX died, and I remember not really listening to a lot of his music, but no, XX, no, you don't know who XXX is? Oh, okay.
Lord Professor?
Nope. Okay, so here's my thing. So, So when X died, I remember listening to a couple songs that he made, and I was like, okay, well, you know, it's okay. But I remember when he passed, and everybody was kind of like, yo, he changed my life, and I'm like, what? This kid made what? But when I'm like, okay, fine. So I go into his album, and I'm like, wow, it's dark, it's sad, it makes me do a lot of things, and I'm like, damn, yo, like if and I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to like somebody new. I wasn't expecting to throw on something and automatically connect with it. And it sucks because I had to do that when he died. And I'm just like, damn, like where was I, 7 months before that? But like I said, man, the world works weird, and I just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely gonna have a chance to do what I do. But that's all I have to say about the whole thing, to be honest with you. I have nothing left.
Well, as far as what you just said, the thing I can touch on, of course, I'm gonna generally always, again, my medicinal MC is always Mos Def and Yasin Bey. And one of his lyrics, if we, one of the things that I do retain, I'm 90% lyrics. And so we live in now for the promise of the infinite is one of the lyrics. Of course, I can't remember off the top of my head where the song is from or what the title is. But I think that's very true as far as the artists, any artist in particular, but as far as the artists that we're saying right now, like that's the amazing thing about art is it transcends decades. And also for the people who are drawn to it and gravitate towards it, like you were saying, it's a great time for, it's a great time for young people to kind of like connect with it right now. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this that new Heavy 2020. Another short episode of Hip Hop Homework. Peace to Big Pun.